everybody! Welcome to a solo Sunday fun day, and actually on Sunday, strangely enough, and hopefully I can actually have this video out on Sunday too. It's gonna be a miracle! Yeah, I just wanted to hit y'all up real quick to give y'all a review of the movie I actually saw today, and there's not gonna be any other reviews for this week. Maybe there might be one or two on Friday, I'm not sure. Just to let y'all know, I leave to go out to California, which I keep talking about in almost every video I've done in this past month. I leave this Saturday. I mean, I'm gone. I have to leave at 4:55 in the afternoon. With any luck, I might be able to get a review of My Little Pony the movie. I am tempted to ask one of my really close friends just to go with me, just because I want to subject her to something that I love, and she's going to look at me awkwardly throughout the entire film. There is another film, I'm trying to remember what comes out this week. I'll go do my, obviously my review, or not my review, but my kind of breakdown of what's going to happen over the next month at the end here. But I just want to let y'all know, it's like, I'm going to do something for y'all. If they're going to be short, quick reviews, they'll be up though, and they will let y'all know, hey, this is how I feel about this movie, I saw this. And just to let y'all know, it will all come out probably on Saturday, if anything, while I am away. Simply because I work Sunday through Thursday while I'm out there. At work. I'm having to help pretty much set up a facility, so. To me, it's not really going to be work. It's going to be very different from what I'm currently doing, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm kind of excited about it. But yeah, time to actually talk about American Made, a movie I've been looking forward to for a while. Mostly because the trailers made it look really, really good. It made it look like it was going to be interesting. It looked like it was going to be well acted. It looked like it was going to be funny whenever it's supposed to be funny. And it looked like pretty much based on true story, because a lot of facts are always, exaggerated to make a more interesting film. Although, lately there's been a harder shift towards being more true to life. Though, like everybody says, like the reason why people like the based on true story films whenever they are more exaggerated is simply because they're more interesting. Magic jump cut! Yeah, fans still making noise. I'm hearing it the entire time. Without another person here, I find myself easily distracted. My ADD will kick in and I'm just like wanting to focus on everything that's not talking with y'all. Yeah. I was actually, like I said, I was interested in seeing this film. I've been looking forward to it for a while, and it's actually rather good. Those who are wondering what this movie is about a TWA airline pilot. I think his name is Barry Stiles? I don't know. It might be the guy from One Direction, I'm not sure. But he is a Air Force pilot. He's played by Tom Cruise, who actually, I originally was worried that they were trying to give him a southern accent that was like supposed to be Texas. I'm like, that's really not Texas. It sounds kind of, a little Cajun. It's like, oh, okay, so he's actually from Louisiana, because he's actually from Baton Rouge. I was like, okay, that actually sounds rather close to Cajun. I know quite a few Cajun people. Yeah, I live in Texas, so gotta know some Cajun people. But he plays a TWA pilot who's kind of bored with life. He makes more than enough money that his family is fine. They're going to be happy, healthy for the rest of their lives. But he wants something more. He wants some adventure. In fact, you see that in one of the early scenes whenever he's just messing with the people while they're all sleeping. He has the autopilot on, he turns it off, and just keeps like rocking the plane and purposely making everything fall out. It's kind of the one that's like, alright, you're kind of a dick, Barry. But to be fair, you can understand that he's dulled by everything. He's just like, this life is not interesting to me as much as it should be. So he eventually gets contacted by a guy who goes by the name of Schaefer, who ends up being part of the CIA. And from there, as you've watched on the trailers, he begins going on missions and adventures with the CIA. Reconnaissance photographs, drug smuggling, gun smuggling, you name it, he probably does it throughout this entire film. And to be fair, it's actually pretty interesting. It doesn't go into like a whole lot of super great details, but it's fun to see all these interesting things he ends up getting himself into. It almost feels like a Forrest Gump flyer in a way, not in the fact that he's, a bit of a person who just doesn't get things, but more in the fact that it seems like this guy almost just happens to be in little areas that all interconnected with very important events in history. Whether this is all 100% true, I don't know. I'm not going to research it that much. I'm willing to suspend my disbelief, though, enough to where I'm like, okay, well, this is, fairly plausible. And also, I will say one thing about this film, it gets right away, it gets a really damn good soundtrack of just some good late 70s and early 80s tunes, which is hard to find because late 70s and early 80s, you had really, really good stuff and really, really terrible stuff, and a lot of it was more towards the terrible than it was good. I mean, Lionel Richie kind of got popular during the early 80s. That tells y'all anything. But, yeah, you do get, like I said, some good music, and on top of everything, you get these little, pretty much we're jumping around through different important parts throughout, history in a way. Well, American history. American communist fighting history. Especially in more of the, it's the best way to put it, because of course this is sort of a spy thriller in a weird way. Not really, though. It's not like American Assassin. Think more along the lines of less Jason Bourne and more Air America. And to be honest, it's, like I said, it's really good. There's some really good acting in here. The camera work, I was worried because the director, if I'm not mistaken, did work on some of the Jason Bourne movies. And you could start seeing that, shaky shit he likes to do. But thankfully, there were a lot more steady shots. There were a lot more good panning shots that showed off, his maneuvers and all that. There was also minimalistic use of CGI. The only one I could really think of that was very obvious was the landing of the plane in the middle of this town, which, if you've watched trailers, it happens. In fact, it was the first trailer I saw, and that's what got me interested in the movie. But yeah, you do get a fairly interesting story here, with the biggest problem just being you've seen this before. You get a lot of deja vu. You're expecting, okay, well, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, now this is going to happen. Alright, now that happens. This has a lot of tones, I would say, to American Hustle. That obviously a guy ends up getting himself way in over his head and he wasn't quite expecting it. But as opposed to an American Hustle where they mostly got out of it, they being, of course, Christian Bale and Amy Adams, this Barry's not quite so lucky. Just to spoil the movie a little bit, he ends up getting killed. But, if I'm not mistaken, that was one of the big things with the original story. So if you know about the original story or anything dealing with it's Pablo Escobar and Iran Contra scandal, Nicaraguan Contras, and all that bullshit that ended up happening, you knew this guy ended up losing his life over it. But for all of that, for the fact that it's, like I said, it's not something you're going to be surprised at. There was never a point where I was like, okay, well, this feels like a big revelation. To be fair, true story movies can only do that so often. Simple because that big of a revelation has got to be something momentous actually in history itself that we already know. So, here, there just isn't that. But, it's still a fun ride. The other little issue is the movie kind of feels like it slows down in weird parts. It kind of feels like it's unnecessary. For instance, at one point, his wife, who, what's her name, is Lucy? I can't remember. I'm sorry, if she's a little bit of a, she does fine with what she's given. She's not given anything. So she's fairly unremarkable. I mean, she's a pretty wife and she's doting and she questions her husband whenever it's actually needed, though she gets angry when she's supposed to get angry with him, and she's willing to forgive him whenever he actually shows true forgiveness. So that's the one thing about this story, if it is any true, from the seams of it, he wasn't just a jerk off who just wanted money. Like, yeah, he was happy to get the money, but he didn't just use it to inflate his own wealth. He also used it to help out like his town that he was living in at the time, because eventually he moved from Baton Rouge to Mena, Arkansas. And it's like, okay, well, he's actually somewhat of a caring guy, and that's what it is. You get a guy, you get the sense that he's not this just, like I said, complete nerd, despicable asshole, just worried about where's he going to get his next bit of cash. It seems like he's a guy who's more yearning for the adventure, but also wants to be able to take care of his family. The extra cash just happens to be something that he can use to better help his family and also his community. But yeah, there's one point to where Lucy, I really want to say that's her name. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to be dead wrong. Know me. She has a brother who is played by the same guy, I swear, from Get Out, who was the brother of the main girl from Get Out. And he's just as fucking creepy in this and just as terrible of an actor. Like, he is the one really bad actor in this, simply because he says all the lines you'd expect him to say, and he delivers them with either over the topness that doesn't work, or this just unstated incapability of being able to act that just rings hollow throughout the entire thing. And he gets killed off fairly quickly. Ooh, did I spoil something that he got killed? I don't think anything dealing with him added anything to the film. It didn't progress the possibility of Barry being in trouble for anything. It didn't increase the danger to Barry's family. It didn't do anything to the story. So I think really cutting that out would have saved this movie in our 15-20 minutes. I need to be that kind of a person to want to edit out whole chunks, because I'm more for, more is more sometimes. This is a point where almost less would be more. It would have made the story, I think, a little quicker, a little bit more punchier. Instead, this felt like a detour that eventually we got back onto the main plot. Which is like, okay, well, now the movie's starting back over again. So yeah, those minor gripes, like I said, the fairly predictability of the entire film, the brother's character who you can live without, they're the two major problems with the movie. Better than that, it's like the writing is actually rather good in this film, beyond the brother character, but to be fair, I think I chalk that more up to acting than anything. Tom Cruise is just charismatic as all hell. Like, you really root for this poor guy, and you actually feel legitimately bad for him by the end of the film. Every single person you actually really kind of like. It manages to make the cartel that Pablo Escobar helped to, the Medina family, or Medina, I think, family. Medina family. That's a different horrible thing that has been visited upon mankind. Yeah. It actually makes you understand why they were able to get as powerful as they were, considering how ruthless they were. That's actually an interesting thing to do. I will give the movie that much, because it makes them charismatic guys. It makes them, guys you might want to sit around and have a drink with. You could sit there and talk with them. That wouldn't be bad. Then, oh my god, and I have 4 kilos of crack up my ass. It's a interesting and well thought out way to write certain things. So I was like, okay, well, that's actually cool. And you get to see a bit of that progression into, psychoticness and, their pretty much their willingness to turn towards violence over anything, no matter what, especially whenever it's something that they visit upon themselves in a lot of instances. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. It's not the greatest documentary that you would ever see, but I think if you sat back, watched it, especially if you watched one that maybe cut out the brother character altogether, I really think you would most people would enjoy this. If that brother wasn't in this movie, it'd easily be a 9. This would be a really tight, very fun and quick film. With him, it bogs it down just enough to where I think it's an 8. It's not really, 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 really good. It's good, It's a solid flick. You're going to enjoy yourself throughout this. If you're into, like I said, the true story kind of films, especially stuff about crime stuff, which we all are interested in, you would very much enjoy this movie. There's not a lot that you can get mad about with this film. I mean, even then, like, the Burke character's like, oh, can you kind of hurry him up? And eventually, oh, okay, he's out of the movie. All right, cool, I'm good with that. Kind of bad. I was like, all right, his character just die or go off screen or something. Yeah, so that was actually good. Like I said, American Made, really good flick. Check it out if you get a chance. I know I was, like I said, I was looking forward to this, and it didn't disappoint. I was fairly enthralled with this in a lot of good ways. So, good on you, American Made. I'm glad you were as good as I was hoping. Now, I'm going to talk real quick about what's coming up for the next month. There will probably only be one movie a week, except for maybe this week. I will see. Again, I need to talk with one of my friends to see if she's willing to go see My Little Pony the movie. I want to go see that really badly. I'm a brony. I'm sorry, y'all. Pinkie Pie, though. Of course, Pinkie Pie for life. I know some people are like, yeah, Pinkie Pie is just psychotic, and I love her to death. So, we'll see exactly if I can get anything else. But if I can, it will be Blade Runner, of course. I have, strange enough, never seen the original Blade Runner. I have borrowed it from my brother so that way I can eventually watch it. But I just never take the time to try and watch it, actually. So, we'll see. We'll see exactly what happens with Blade Runner 2049. Some people say it's really good. I've seen it and I'm like, it looks alright. Maybe it's just because I don't love that style as much as people would want me to. For the 13th, it's going to probably be The Foreigner, even though I probably should see Happy Death Day simply because it's in October. But unless my one friend was heading out there to California with me, I'm not going to bother with it because it looks like a generic kind of Groundhog Day slasher flick. Eh. But yeah, it's going to be The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and, what's his name? Pierce Brosnan. I was about to call him fucking James Bond. I'm like, technically he's not. Yeah, that's going to be the movie for then. For the 20th, it will definitely be Geostorm. I have been looking forward to this. Probably going to be just clusterfuck of a film. I think it looks just to be all sorts of stupid and fun. So I'm looking like, yeah. So that's probably going to be. I know she'd probably go see Leatherface, but that's about as well as I feel about it. I do get back on the 27th, but I'm probably not going to see a movie till that Sunday. And if anything, that will be back when I'm going to start doing 2 if I can help it. Though, it just depends. It might be, it's probably going to be Jigsaw, simply because I've watched almost all of them except for the 7th one. I know it's arguably one more Facebook one to give its opinion. I'm not sure about the Jigsaw movie. It looks bad. It looks like a lot of CGI, real bad CGI at that. But if not, I'm also squeezed into Suburbicon, even though from everything I'm looking at right here, it's terrible. But I am interested as hell. So yeah, that's gonna be October. It's gonna be fairly short, fairly quick reviews. Like I said, they're gonna be all on my phone. So just let y'all know that it might be really close. I will try and figure out a good method for y'all. Don't expect super long reviews. I'll real quickly say, hey, this is good, or this, oh my god, I fucking hate this. The 6th might be the only one that'll be different, and also once I get back on the 27th. It'll just be those 2 that are in the middle. Those reviews are going to be very fast, very quick. So, that's how I feel. Go see American Made. It's actually a really good movie. It's worth the price, I would say. You're not going to sit there and be just utterly bored unless you just don't like dramas. But if you're like really wanting a ton of action, this might not be for you. If you're expecting a Jason Bourne movie, you're going to be disappointed. So, until then, I will see y'all later with maybe a little bit of Brody love. So, until then, I'll say bye-bye, everybody.